up, everybody? Welcome to my afternoon streams. I'm trying to do this as regularly as possible, so we're just going to call it like afternoon coffee because I'm usually dead and falling asleep around 3 o'clock because I've been up doing work all day or whatever. So I just want to throw out a little bit of songwriting tips, things, the way I think about things and how I think about the harmonies, and then I'm going to get just a little bit of practice in before I got to go back to work. So when it comes to songwriting, basically what I do is a lot of the times I'll just think of a riff or come up with an idea or try to be influenced by something. So a lot of the times I'll be out walking or exercising in my backyard, listening to either like just books or to birds, trying to come up with riffs or whatever, and then I'll get an idea or it's maybe a chord progression and come in here and try it. Now, one of the things that I typically do is whenever I get a chord, I never ever think of how do I say this. Sometimes I will play the regular, just a major chord. There's our straight up C major, but it's just rare that I actually do a chord. One of the tones I like to add the most is the ninth, because the ninth specifically a whole step above the tonic pitch. So if you're in the key of A, you think B. They have a really interesting sound, but the ninth is this sort of ambiguous tone that works well with minor, works well with major, works well with Lydian, it works well with most of the modes, if not all of them. And so I just typically add ninths to a lot of stuff. Instead of playing G, I'll put that A in there. I won't play a B here. A lot of the times when I do an F chord, I don't play the A. I'll leave it out. For the G, the G. For C, I'll often do the G form. And it works. And also the ninth is kind of a sort of derives, if you will, out of stacking fifths is another way I think about it. So this, that tone, if you just stack that fifth, so it's like putting a power chord on top of another power chord. You'll see me do that stretch a lot in my music. Let me get my third finger out of the way, because I love the way that sounds. So you'll hear that in a lot of my songs. And it just adds like a little bit of color to it, a little bit of ambiguity to it. Ambiguity. So another one that I'll add is I'm a big fan of either adding the suspended regular fourth or the sharp four. And also major ninths, major sevenths. So a lot of the times with that F, I'll pick up my major seventh, and then like I was adding about the sus4. So this F sharp, I basically play an F sharp bar chord, and then I just lift up the bar. Fairly common chord. And I'm pretty sure that I got this from a Minute Work song, Down by the Sea. I believe that's where I probably first heard that. It's a very common harmony, but yeah, for years I've been in love with that harmony. A lot of the times I'll pair it with an E major. That sharp, that's when it turns into a sharp four. It has like the same harmony. I love this kind of stuff. So here, this is just a regular, you can think this is a dominant seventh. And then we're going to add the fourth, or sus4. I'm not even going to call it sus4, I'm going to call it add 4. The other chord that I like so much is typically in the fourth, the sharp 4. So all you have to do is kind of play what looks like a B form, but play an A major, and then add your third finger to the fourth fret of the G and your pinky to the fourth fret of the B. It's really beautiful ninth sharp 4 chord. Oh, I love these harmonies. Another place that you can do that is if you play, this is kind of the stairway chord. Right, so if you think it's stairway where he does that, that is a, I think of that as being a 9 or a sharp 11 or sharp 4. Really gorgeous chord. I love that chord. It lends itself to Lydian. But the harmony itself lends it just fits perfectly in with the Lydian mode, and it's just kind of one of my favorite things to do. So kind of backing up over that sus4 F, that just screams the Mixolydian mode. Like that is the Mixolydian mode in a nutshell. You're missing all but the 6 tones or whatever that, you know. And so that chord I'm going to think Mixolydian all day long. And then when I go, a lot of the times I'll move from this. I've got 2 songs where I go from this F chord into this chord here, which is you can go into A. Oh, sorry. And I love to come down and I love to fall off this. Moving back to that chord is a really fun lick to do it that way. So you get this. Really kind of just slipping in and out of these little modes. It's really fun. So, but that's kind of just how I think about, you know, in terms of writing songs, I just don't use regular major minor chords. I will always just add another tone onto it just for the sake of doing it. I mean, and I'll be intentional about it just to liven it up, to give it a little more color, make it like less boring. And I'll do that a lot with power chords. I like to stack those power chords like I was saying. All right, so let's jump in and talk about, I'm going to do a little bit of practice today, and I want to play with some backing tracks. I don't do this a lot. And one of the things that I'm going to practice is that I'm down a half step on this guitar, and then I'll put on a backing track that's going to be in C sharp, and then play in D over it, and sometimes it gets tricky. something else. So I've got a whole list of backing tracks. You can go to my playlist, and I got a bunch of stuff that's out there right now. But yeah, you can check out. It's just all the Fusion BTS stuff, and because like when I try to play and practice with backing tracks, it's usually most of the time with fusion, jazzy, sort of funk or rock. Sometimes metal tracks, but for the most part, it seems that like these kind of fusion tracks allow me to do the most kind of versatile things. They allow me to kind of stretch my legs, like chromatically, that is, with the color. You know, they allow for that. With some of the chord changes, allow a little more for that. And then also, you can always get away with doing bluesy stuff, and then shreddy stuff sounds kind of good over it. And then trying to shred at those tempos. So that's always an issue. Trying to speed pick at certain tempos is never really comfortable, and always takes a little bit of different technique at certain tempos. It's a very strange and weird thing, and so makes it very hard to improvise for me in terms of trying to get through that. But that's why I do this. And so first one is, and all of these are going to be like the jam apostrophe I am backing tracks. He does a really excellent track. I mean, I know I have like my own. I've got like tons, like maybe 60 different backing tracks up there. I don't play with them a whole lot. I like other people. I try to use other people's YouTube. So yeah, jammin' backing tracks. This guy writes really stellar stuff. And so here's something mellow in C minor. This is going to put us in C sharp minor. Give us a chance to play with some of the little maybe less distorted sounds. Here we go, C sharp. Yeah. Here's one that's actually in D sharp minor, so I'll be playing an E now. Maybe. I'm not sure if I can standing this right now. All right. So really my goal for right now, all I'm doing is just getting back into playing, getting comfortable speaking my voice and getting melodies out and stuff, like, because it kind of comes and goes for me. Like I'll practice a lot really intensively and then I'll have to back off it for a while. Something will happen and I'll get busy with our health business, and just so that's just part of it, and that's what it looks like getting back. So I'll just jump through a lot of these backing tracks really fast. Oh, hi, Dwight. Oh, yeah, I know Dwight. Yeah, I think. So yeah, he's right. Yeah, that guy writes songs all the time. He's. I think that's him. Yeah, and he's always on the Metalhead Hippies channel. He writes. He writes really awesome. You write really awesome songs, Dwight. I think that's you. And if not, I apologize. But I'm sure you write awesome songs too. Do some 16th note stuff. Yeah, awesome. G minor here, so that's just G minor, G sharp minor. I want faster. There we go. We need to work out some 16th notes, but at a kind of little quicker speed. F minor for the two. We're going to be in F sharp minor here. one thing I've been really kind of trying to hammer out is hitting these harmonics on the octave, sonic like that kind of thing, and that seems to work out well. But it gets with the higher it gets, it's really hard to do. So it's up in this one, but you can find them. And it's kind of how if you ever seen Eric Johnson do the where he'll pick with these two fingers and then fret here, so it kind of sounds like I don't really do it. I had a friend, he's a really extremely good guitar player. He's from Hong Kong. He's actually in Hong Kong. He's living up being famous over there. He used to do that all the time. It's really, really cool. So shout out to Alan Kwan, and really proud of you, dude. Yeah, you're awesome, Alan. So anyways, yeah, let's move on. I like these synthwave backing tracks. They're pretty cool. And again, so here we got something melodic. I just want to end and see if we can find some of the there's a really good Zappa track that used to be on here. We can practice playing it. Anyways, now let me see if I can find something else. But that's going to be it. So, just before I play whatever I'm going to do last year, I'll just kind of finish with whenever you are writing music and harmonies, just try different tones. They don't actually have to be in the same key. I do that all the time. And I mean, you just have to bend people's ears to it till they get used to hearing it, till you get used to hearing it. I mean, in jazz, this is what they will do. For each and every chord, they will often spin off in different modes and harmonies. And that's why they have so much harmonics, much rich texture and color at their palette. A lot of really good jazz players do. And so it's just one of these things. And me sort of having a slight jazz background and having taught at a very big time jazz school, I can't help but think about it like that. And in jazz, there's a huge overlap between jazz and what is proper Viennese music, which is kind of where my background lies in the second Viennese, first and second Viennese school, and sort of everybody in between. But you can find a lot of the voice leading and techniques that sort of happen in Brahms. And then, oh, awesome. That's cool, right? Yeah. Wonderful idea, by the way, to do the ditto looper and to make your own backing tracks. It's so fun and rewarding. And then they spin into really good ideas. Sometimes they're songs like, this. So that's great, dude. But yeah, with jazz and Brahms and all, I mean, it just kind of has its overlap and all that. And I like to use some of that. And but I also like pop music, and I definitely love Southern rock, that kind of stuff. So this is just some ideas, and then practicing. I wouldn't actually say I'm practicing for right now. I'm just playing, kind of getting back into it, getting used to it. When practicing kind of looks a little different for me when I'm actually putting on a metronome and working on doing arpeggios and scales and all of that. It can get boring pretty quick, but most of the time I just use that stuff as like kind of warm-ups now, and it's really great since I don't have to teach or anything like that anymore. I can just kind of do it on my own. You don't have to worry about how other people kind of handle stuff. I'm really happy that I can have this outlet just to talk about the way I like to do things and the way things tend to work. So let's find something cool or fun, or let me Google super fast back. It's not really fast and shreddy where we can just get kind of ludicrous and have some fun here. But I want to do it in a metal style. Super fast backing track. Or a rock style would be better. Maybe we got internet here. A minor, that puts it in a really weird key for me. That puts it in B flat minor. Let's try that. thinking B flat minor anymore. That's fun though. That's a good one. Maybe I can remember Funk 49. Isn't that the James Gang? Let's see if I can remember any of that. Oh, I don't want to get hit for copyright though. Let me just see what I got here. I'll go to my modal backing tracks. And let's just do this one. And okay, good enough. This is really weird. I've never actually played it. This is an E Lydian, and that's going to put me in essentially what looks like B major. But for this, I have to play it in C. I've never done that. I like doing it in C. That's cool. So that'll end it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow with some afternoon coffee. Please join me then. And if you got any questions, you can throw them up there. I'm a self-taught guitar player, so I really don't. I know some things. I know mostly theory things. I did at one point in time. And so I'll be happy to answer anything because I do know some tricks and secrets though. I'd really like to figure out how Nuno Betancourt. I got a sneaking suspicion how Nuno Betancourt's doing all that stuff, and he's really good. I mean, that last solo. Did anybody catch Extreme's last song that they put out like 2 months ago? And Nuno Betancourt's like still on. Like, it was awesome. He is still kicking butt. Like kicking butt like never before. But I want to know what he does. He does obviously some with that delay pedal, and it's really interesting. So I'm sure that there's somebody who breaks it down on YouTube. There's like probably 1,000 people who do. But anyways, I'll be excited. I'll be back in the morning to discuss my song called Climbing Out. And that one's the one that's sort of about Duncan, Idaho from Dune. But that's in the style of Mastodon. It has some really awesome, there's a really killer rhythmic elements to that song. And that one has by far the most operatic solo I've ever done. And I'll go through that and break that down, and we'll talk about just the silliness of it because it is in the style of Mastodon, and so really out of kind of character for me. But it was I enjoyed doing it, and the singing is the biggest issue for me on that one. So I'll be back talking about that tomorrow morning, and then we'll talk about. I'll probably end up talking more about speed picking tomorrow and getting into what picks I actually use and what's good for what and why I use it. But most people will be surprised. Like the shredders just use regular picks. Like it's not really, but I do own a lot of I love plectrums. I collect a bunch of them, and I will be willing to show those off. And I've got some really rare ones that they don't make anymore that used to be sought out. And that, like, if you go and see John Taylor put on the world record for Flight of the Bumblebee and all that, he's using what they call the sick pick. The guy Frank used to live down here in Fort Worth. I still have a ton of those picks. Unfortunately, he passed away, and the patent got kicked around. It's somewhere in New York right now. No one knows what's going on. Those picks are amazing, but they're in short supply. So it kind of changed my technique to learn and to play with a mass production pick. But I'll get into all that tomorrow afternoon. Anyways, always be excellent to each other. Party on, and enjoy your coffee. Thanks, everybody.